Hello and welcome to another JMP video. I'm your host JonNario, and this is going to be week 3 of my progression of the Delves update. Like I mentioned, this is not going to be a series, and this might be the last video that I'm going to be doing on my progression on the Delves update, because as of right now I'm only missing just a couple of things that every single week it's going to be pretty much the same thing, and maybe I might be able to get one thing like every single week, but aside from that I don't think as of right now I'm going to get like a lot of progression on the Delves update. So I'm just going to be talking about pretty much this is going to be my last one. Even more so this week, because one thing that I'm going to mention, this is going to be more so real life stuff, and I'm actually being more serious on this one, and this is going to be the fact that where I live in Puerto Rico. For those who don't know, we're going to get struck by a tropical storm by pretty much by today. So yeah, this is going to be a big oof that is going to just pretty much take the power out for a couple of days, who knows. But I know for a fact that I will not be able to be progressing so quickly during this week. So yeah, next week it might not even be like that different compared to this. So that's a big oof right there. Fortunately, I got a lot of progression during this week, but unfortunately I'm not going to get progression during next week. Aside from all of that, like I mentioned, I got most of the things on this update, like including Mementos. So pretty much for the most part, it is just pure RNG at this point, and I'm not going to be posting this pretty much the same video every single week, just being like, oh, this is the progression on my Delves update. I got nothing, and so yeah, that doesn't feel like right. Anyway, so that is all the introduction that I wanted to talk about. Let's get started with all of the items that I've gotten thus far with the Trove update. Now, first and foremost, like I'm just going to mention before, I got all of the allies, all of the items, like I mentioned all of this during the last week. So I got all of the allies, all of the recipes, everything regarding this update that is in Mementos. And yeah, pretty much crystal level 4 and mounts. So those are pretty much the only things that I'm going to be talking about in today's video, which are going to be crystal level 4 and mounts and mementos. So anyways, let's start talking about crystal level 4. But before that, 36,141 on my power rank. I actually did increase my mastery to 776 total today actually, so this is actually pretty crazy that I managed to get myself this power rank. I'm still second in mastery, for those who don't know. If I go into the leaderboard and if I go into the meta, and you can see right over here, I'm still number 2 in mastery. So yeah, I'm still second place on mastery. So yeah, in terms of power rank, I am tied for number 1 on both night. Well, on night I'm number 1, and on ice age I'm tied. Yeah, I'm tied for number 1. So yeah, those are going to be like the power and progression on all of that. Now let's move on with all of my crystal level 4 equipment. So for those who don't know, I've been grinding quite a bit on the higher tiers of Delves, just getting myself more crystal level 4 every single time, because before I actually was grinding more of the lower Delves so I can get more mementos. Right now I've been grinding more of the higher Delves, like even going as far as 170 with 2 or 3 people at most, going for 170 Delves. Yeah, it's been quite fun. Anyway, so going into my crystal level 4 equipment, so far I've gotten 4 sets of crystal level 4 equipment, which are going to be my crystal level 4 equipment that I have on my knight, the crystal level 4 equipment that I have on my ice age, a crystal level 4 equipment that I have on my vanguardian, and a full crystal level 4 equipment that I have on my gunslinger. So those are going to be all of the full sets that I actually do have thus far, which are going to be on my vanguardian, gunslinger, knight, and ice age. Aside from that, I'm still missing quite a lot. Now, I could easily get myself a 5th set if I get myself another crystal level 4 hat, because I also have a crystal level 4 face on my shadow hunter, which I can transfer that into my tomb racer, which also has a crystal level 4 staff. So I do have a crystal level 4 staff, and I do have a crystal level 4 face, the shadow hunter, which I can easily transfer that into the tomb racer, and yeah, just get myself a full crystal level 4 equipment on my tomb racer, being my 5th set. So yeah, those are going to be all of the crystal level 4 that I got thus far. Now let's start talking about mounts. I didn't think that I was going to get a new mount during this week, but lo and behold, I actually got myself a new mount in this week. I actually did get myself the Piñata mount. So on the first week I got the Weeping Prophet mount as a drop, and then on the second week I bought the Spywalker mount for 9 million flux, and then I got it as a drop. And on the third week I actually bought this one for 50 million flux. and then get myself another drop, which is going to be for the Whipping Prophet. So I got my second Whipping Prophet mount, which I will give this away to one of my friends, who has been helping me out like crazy in this update. Like pretty much both him and I were doing 170 or even up to 170 on the private deal. So as you probably could tell, like big shout out to Darkito if he's watching this video. Hello. So he's been helping me out a lot, so I will be giving like the Whipping Prophet mount to him. So yeah, it's been helping me out like crazy. For the most part, those are all of the mounts that I've gotten thus far. I also did get myself the Whirly Gig, which is the Uber 8 mount, like on the very first week, which I gave it away to another of my friends who actually did help me out in getting this mount, actually, because I was somewhat short in terms of flux, and he gave me the remaining flux that I needed to actually get myself this mount. So yeah, I actually gave him the Whirly Gig, the Uber 8 Leviathan mount. Anyway, aside from that, those are going to be all of the mounts that I've gotten thus far. I am missing 3 mounts, so those are going to be all 3s from Daughter of the Moon, which are going to be the Moonsail Glider, Moonbeam Gunship, and Luna Eclipsa. So those are going to be all of the 3 mounts that I'm missing. And yeah, let's move on. Some people have been asking me, how do you get this banner? Do you actually get this banner from the Leviathans? Once you open up the box after defeating the Uber 10 Leviathan, you actually have a really rare chance of actually getting the permanent torch, which you actually can upgrade it into this Radiant banner, which is going to be the upgraded permanent torch from the Leviathan. Now let's move on into the Mementos. How many Mementos have I gotten thus far? So I got 68 out of 77 on the creature Mementos, so I'm missing 9 of them. Also, I'm missing still 2 boss Mementos. I haven't gotten any of the 2 boss Memento, even though I have found those bosses like crazy. For example, one of those bosses I found them like 7 times today, no drops. And I've gotten 6 out of 11 bio Mementos. Now, let's start talking about the creature Mementos. So, K-Path. So, K-Path, I have seen it multiple times just spawning like inside the delve, and still no drops. That's unfortunate, but this is somewhat of a pretty rare mob that actually does spawn multiple times. And yeah, that's going to be the K-Path. The Scribe Familiar. The Scribe Familiar, I've only seen it once. Like, out of my 4,000 plus delves that I've done, I've only seen this once. I've seen it in challenge delves on the week first, but it wasn't dropping on the challenge delve. But on private delves, I've only seen this once. It is kind of crazy. Certain enemies are just way too rare, which is one of the gripes that I have with this update. There are certain enemies that actually are pretty rare to spawn, which it is kind of unfortunate. But yeah, this is one of those pretty rare mobs that actually do spawn. Next up is going to be the Cave Beetle. The Cave Beetle is the white beetle that you actually find in the Trovian Delves. Oh my god, I've seen this one so many times, you have no idea. Never getting as a drop. Like today, I easily seen this one like 25 times. I'm not even kidding. Like 25, 30 times I actually seen this mob spawn and nothing. So yeah, that's going to be the Cave Beetle that I'm missing. And one thing that I'm going to ask you guys in the comment section down below, have you seen the skeleton, the reanimated knight, and the ancient Viking skeleton? If you have, let me know in the comment section down below, because I don't think out of all of my biomes, all of my delves that I've done, I don't think I've seen any of these 3, like at all. And I've done from depths 4 to 173, well actually to 176 on private delves. I have done all the way to 176 also on challenge delves, and I've also done all the way to like 160 on public delves. Still haven't seen this mob spawn. I think this might be one of those enemies that only spawn in challenge delves in certain weeks. So yeah, those are going to be some enemies that I don't see that I can find like a multiple time. I've seen the Undead Emperor, and I've seen like the Wraith and the Bombblade Wraith, but I don't think I've seen the regular skeletons, the reanimated knight, and the ancient Viking skeletons like once. I don't think I've seen it once. So let me know in the comment section down below if you have seen it, and if you do, let me know where do you actually find it. Now let's move on into the Incendiary Iris. I actually did only find this like I believe once or twice. And yeah, this is a pretty rare mob that actually spawns. I believe it only spawns in like high tiers of delves, and it is pretty rare. The Sand Skitter, I haven't seen this one like ever. Like my friend actually seen this once only. And yeah, so there's also a pretty rare mob that actually spawns sometimes. The Umbral Chafin, I've seen this sometimes, like it mainly spawns in the Corners of Cthulhu realm or in the Trovian Delves on the higher tiers, but for the most part I don't see this very often, but you see this somewhat commonly in the high tiers of Delves. And aside from that, those are going to be all of the enemies. I got pretty much everything else. And the reason I mentioned like, oh, this depth and this, that, like I've noticed a couple of things regarding certain mementos that you actually find in certain floors. Well, obviously you find certain enemies in certain biomes, but certain enemies do spawn more on certain depths rather than just spawning literally everywhere. Like you literally, like for example, if we go into the shark kind of enemies, I think I've only seen this enemy spawn in depths of 100 or above. Like everything 100 and below, I don't think I've seen this one. And they only spawn in the Trovian Delve biome, like on the Delve caves. So those are going to be like the actual shark hunter, the shark hunter, not the deep seer. But I mean like these two, I've only seen it in the over 100 depths. Like everything below, I don't think I've seen this one. Like this one also spawned like in over 100. Like I've noticed a couple of things that regarding this, that's why I'm asking like, where have you actually seen the skeletons and the reanimated knight? Because as of right now, those are some of the most mysterious enemies that I have found yet. Like I mentioned, again, I am trying to get as much experience as possible so I can give you guys the proper information or give you guys some tips on actually how to properly farm all of these mementos. Now let's move on into the boss mementos. So the boss mementos, that are two that I'm missing, are going to be this Empyrean Plasma Projector and the Therizinosaurus, which are going to be the same two that I'm missing from last week. The Therizinosaurus, I've seen it like I mentioned 7 or 8 times today, no drops. And the Empyrean Plasma Projector, like last week, I've seen it like 13-14 times. I'm not even kidding, no drops. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Those are going to be the two that I'm missing. And Biomementos, that one that I'm missing is going to be Amperia. Amperia, I've seen it so many times, like you have no idea. Like the biome, like it is kind of crazy. The Cursed Cave, Forbidden Depths, Subnautic Passage, and the Corners of Cthulhu realm. Today I've actually gotten, the day I'm actually recording this, I've actually gotten 2 drops from Biomementos. I got the Neon Underground and the Toxic Tunnels. Too bad that both of them were duplicates. So yeah, the Neon Underground, Toxic Tunnel, I had never actually gotten 2 Biomemento on the same day. And seeing that getting 2 of them in one day, but both of them being duplicates, is both a really good luck and a really bad luck. So yeah, that's a big oof. But those are the biomes that I'm missing this week. I don't think, as of right now, so the time I'm making this video, I don't think there's going to be any easy biome memento on Xbox, because as one thing that I did notice is going to be the challenge delve is different per platform. So on Xbox 121, it is different from the PlayStation 121, which is different from PC's 121. It is different per platform, because one of the comments that I actually got last week, it was like the Neon Underground, it was on 121. It was like the easy biome that was dropping like very frequently on 121. But that was only on PlayStation. On Xbox, it was the Volcanic Vaults. On 121, the Volcanic Vaults was the one that I was actually dropping, which is the one that where I actually got this one. Anyways, I'm rambling all too much. Now you already know what are going to be all of the mementos that I'm missing, which are going to be 5 biomes, 2 bosses, and 9 creatures, which is a total of 16 mementos missing. From 116, I got 100 of them, so that's kind of crazy. So I actually did get myself 100 mementos thus far, and yeah, that is pretty nuts. Anyways, that is going to be pretty much everything for today. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for sticking around as always. Leave a like if you want to help the channel grow, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and that is all for today. Once again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Take care and keep on hunting. See ya.